Hi guys, me again. I don't know what day you're watching this, but I'm taping it on St. Patrick's Day, which is day 2 of the Corona apocalypse. Hopefully I'm a little bit more organized than yesterday. I still don't have a tripod yet, so I'll post later the picture of my setup here. But the learning curve is going on. Yesterday I read to you from the dictionary some definitions of intensity and of perseverance, and of course I pulled the dictionary out while I still had my glasses on and I could read that little tiny print, and realized once I had my contacts in and I was making the video I couldn't read it. So I have some stuff to read to you today, but I'm doing it on my iPad and I can make it bigger so you'll be able to hear me. The other thing I did today is my camera's set up on the couch, so I taped to the back of the couch in big dark letters what I want to do here. So hopefully I will be able to stay on plan. So what we're doing to start today, we're working on a section of the Chuck Norris open hand form that the black belts are working on. The plan is to be working on it for the entire 2 months, so till the end, 2 cycles. So we'll be working on it till the end of the summer. It's kind of a long form. It's very close to our tongue sado form, but there's some things that make it different enough that make it confusing. But just wanted to tell you, if you were listening to me yesterday when I told you about Chuck Norris, where did it go? Okay, I told you about Chuck Norris and that he got his first black belt in tongue sado. Same style, same place that our grandmaster Robert Cheezick got his. We call this the Chuck Norris form. We call the bow form that we did a couple of cycles ago the Chuck Norris bow form, but that's actually not what it is. It's a style. It's called Chun Kuk Do. Chun Kuk Do is a Korean and American martial arts hybrid system created by Chuck Norris. In 2015, Chun Kuk Do was renamed to the Chuck Norris system. That seems kind of weird to me. According to the United Fighting Arts Federation, Chun Kuk Do was founded by Mr. Chuck Norris and was originally based on his tongue sado training in Korea when he was in the military. Now we don't need that little announcement from CNN. Mr. Norris began to evolve the style to make it more well-rounded. He did this through committed studies of other systems which he felt would complement his tongue sado foundation. CKD is not a collection of various techniques from different systems. Rather, it's a style with a deeply rooted traditional foundation of its own, now unique and different from its tongue sado predecessor, to which various other elements that complement its fundamentals have been added. Chun Kuk Do has come to emphasize self-defense, competition, weapons, grappling, fitness, and more. So, like I said, a lot of what you see when we work on this form is very close to what we usually do in tongue sado. The stances are the same. The forms are the same. We have a lot of the same transitions. The big difference is that in our forms where we tend to step into the attacker, these tend to step back. Now, before we get going further on this, I have a warning for you. Okay, this is the form the black belts are working on. The rest of you may not watch this video. Nope, don't watch this video. If you do, the karate gods will strike you down. However, if you manage to work on it without the karate gods striking you down, somewhere down the line, somebody says to you, how come you know this form? The proper response is, must have seen it somewhere, sir. So, we're going to spend a lot of time today working on the stance transitions in this form and some of the kicks in this form. Then we'll do the first quarter or third of the form, break down the pieces. So because we're going to be doing so much kicking, we're going to start with some leg warm-ups. So just like we did yesterday, we're going to start with some jumping jacks. When you're doing jumping jacks, there's a couple of things you need to think about. One, and if you've been taking the Red Belt Kids class or candidate class, you've heard me say this a million times, if your hands do not touch at the top, they're not jumping jacks. These are not jumping jacks, and you can't fly. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to fly. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see my feet, I hope. When you do this, you want to land on your toes. You don't want to land flat-footed. That's going to hurt your heels. It's going to hurt your knees. And if you're working out on just a thin mat laid over a wooden floor like I am, it's going to shake your whole house. So make sure that you're landing on your toes. So after we do our jumping jacks, we're going to do some steps, ladder steps. So 1, 2, 3, knee up. 1, 2, 3, knee up. 2, 3. Same thing here. What you want to do, like you did in your jumping jacks, is you want to keep your weight on your toes, or actually the ball of your foot. We're not ballerinas. And as soon as your foot hits the floor, it needs to pop right back off. Just as if we were dancing on a hot stove. Your foot touches, you feel it's hot, right back up. 2, 3. Use your core muscles to pull your knee up at the corners of the ladder step. We tend to think of kicks as working our legs, and they do. But if you don't have a strong core, you're not going to be able to lock out your kicks. And that's what takes your forms from good to extraordinary. So keep going. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Light feet. And the next one, plyometrics, which is the same thing. If you want to put a box up there, I'm not doing box jumps in my house. Actually, I don't even like doing box jumps in the karate school, but you're thinking jump, 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 just like we did before. And if you can't jump like this, think about touching side to side. Step, touch, step, touch, step, touch. Obviously, if you're doing it this way, the foot that you're landing on is not going to be able to come up as fast, but pull the other one back up as fast as you can. Or you can go side to side or straight up and down. But the goal here is as soon as your feet tag the floor, you want to pop them right back off again. No heels on the floor, no shaking your house, no knocking the pictures off the walls, no heavy weight. Okay, then we're going to do some stretch kicks. And stretch kicks are really the one set of kicks that we do that don't have any chambers or re-chambers. We start low. My leg is straight, and I'm just coming up to hip height. We'll do 5 on each side. 3, 4, 5. And then the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a little bit higher, chest high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the next batch is high as you can get them. And for some of you, if you have tight hamstrings, these high ones are going to be a challenge. And if that's you, you know who I'm talking to, and you better stretch your hamstrings before we come back to class. So high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so little bit of just regular stretching. Start here, back up some so you can see me. I'm gonna put my hands here, and I'm gonna lean forward. And when I do this, my back is flat. I'm pushing my chest toward the floor, my chin is up. Somebody could actually stand right here. You're gonna feel this primarily in your hamstrings and your lower back. Just and pretend that there's a wall in front of your hands, and you're pushing your hands against the wall and pushing your butt back. Okay, then reach over to one side, grab your ankle, pull your chest to your knee. You're not tucking your head like this and pulling your head down to your knee. It's chest to your knee, so your chin is up. And down in a side stretch. Goal here, actually you can't see my side stretch. I wonder if I can back up enough so that you can see it. Can you see it from here? Goal when you do your side stretch is to have both of your heels on the floor. And if you need more stretch, to take this elbow and push your knee back. Then we're going to come up, back to the other side. Legs straight, chest to your knee. And then down in your side stretch. Now back up again. Think about keeping both heels on the floor. If you can do this, when you do chill thugs, you're going to have a beautiful Choi Haran chassis. Okay, one last hamstring stretch. I'm going to come up like this. I'm going to face one wall. My knees are straight. My chin is up. My back is flat. I'm reaching my chest down towards my front knee. This stretches primarily the hamstring of the front leg and a little bit of the calf of the back leg. Pull your chest down. Make sure that you're not tucking your head like this. Make sure you keep your chin up. It gives you way more stretch. And then we come to the other side. Legs straight, chin up, chest toward the floor. Reach down as low as you can get. Okay, so I think the next thing I want to do is I want to work on kicks. Now look how organized I am. I even got my chair ready to go. Okay, so we're going to work on our kicks right now, holding onto the chair. Just like sometime in class, we do our kicks holding onto the wall. What I want you to be doing now is holding onto the chair so that you can be focusing on the technique of the kick and on locking it out. Locking out your kicks makes the difference between good forms and spectacular forms. So we're going to practice front kicks first. So when you do your front kick, you can't see my feet, but if I come right back here, I'm not sure. I can't see that I'm still in the picture, but you want your standing foot turned a little bit, maybe 45 degrees or so. And I'll turn this way so you can see what my hips are doing. And I'm going to chamber up and push and hold it out there, and in and back down. Up, push, in, down. So we're going to do 10 on each leg. Up, push, in, down. That's 3. Up, push, in, down. That's 4. Up, push, in, down. 5. Up, push, in, down. 6. Up, push, in, down. 7. 8. 9. 10. And now we'll bring it to the other side. It's the same thing. You want your standing foot turned to about 45 degrees. You want this hand up. This hand always needs to be up. If you get in the habit of doing all your drills with your hands up, then when you spar, you're not going to drop them like this and get hit in the face. So we start here again. Up, out. Hold it out there. In, down. 1. Up, out, in, down. 2. Up, out, in, down. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And now we're going to do the same thing with the side kick. So we're going to start here. And I've got my toe, again, you can't see it, but if I back up enough for that, then I run onto the other end of the camera. My standing foot, my toes are pointed towards the chair. I can pick my knee up, turn my heel and my butt towards the target, kick, push, hold it there. In, down, 1, up, turn, out, in, down, 2. We talk about 4-point kicks. Up, out, in, down. But a side kick actually is a 5-point kick because I'm going to come up, that's 1. I'm going to turn 2, kick 3, rechamber 4, 5. I think that's 4 kicks. So when you're doing the side kick, you got to think about the 5 counts. 5. Sometimes when we spar, we cheat on one of those pieces because it makes us faster. And that's okay because you're trying to score a point. I think this is 7. If it's not, oh well. But when you're doing the kick for technique, for form, for intensity, which is what you're getting your stripe for this month, they've got to be done technically correctly. Other side. That's what forms are about. They're a way to practice self-defenses, other side, in a stylized manner so that if you need to defend yourself, you've done the move thousands of times, tens of thousands of times. And they're just there in your muscle memory. I think this is 3, without you having to think about them. But if you shortcut on the forms, then if you need them for self-defenses, those pathways in your muscle memory aren't going to be there, and you're not going to be able to defend yourself. So don't take the shortcuts on the forms. Do it right. Perseverance, we talked about that. Spend the time. I think that's 8. Maybe it's 7. I don't know. So we'll say that's 9. I can't count and talk to you at the same time. Multitasking is way past what I want to be doing here. Okay, so practice your forms, your kicks. If you feel like you need more, do more. Pause the video. Do more than those 10. Do 20, do 30, do 100. Come back and do them tomorrow, even if you're not practicing the form. Okay, the other thing that I really want to focus on in this form is the stance transitions. There's a lot of places in this form where we transition from Soka Rip Chassi to Chingle Chassi. That tends to be in most of the Tang Soo Do forms. In the Dan forms, you particularly see it in Jian and in Seishan. But here in this form, like in Seishan, actually like Xi'an too, there's places where you're doing your block in Soko Rip Chassi and then rotating into Chingle Chassi for the strike. So this is a place where you can really focus on these pieces. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to start way back here so you can see what my feet are doing. I don't know if you can see me because I can't see the video from way back here, so hopefully this is still working. I'm going to start here, just in my guard stance, and I'm going to step out to Soko Rip Chassi. So my toes are out at the corners, I chamber here, and I block. And I stay in Soko Rip Chassi when I block. That way, I have the power of my hips when I rotate into the strike. And I'm going to step forward, Soko Rip Chassi. Toes are at corners, hips are at corners, chest is at corner. Then I'm going to rotate on the back heel so that my backup mass leaning forward, my rotation, all comes into that strike. So again, through Soko Rip, block, twist and punch. This is really slippery in my socks on the floor. I'm going to be glad when I get on the rug, except you won't be able to see my feet anymore. In, out through Soko Rip Chassi, block, set and punch. So in, block and Soko Rip, rotate on your heel, punch. In, block and Soko Rip, rotate and punch. In, block and Soko Rip, rotate and punch. It works the same way going backwards. I'm going to step back, block and Soko Rip, rotate and punch. Back, block and Soko Rip, rotate and punch. Okay, some of you guys really need to focus on rotating on the heel, on the back foot. If it's you, you know who I'm talking to. I want you to practice this a million times before we come back and have live classes again. So that we come back, you can say, hey, look, I got it. Or even better, you can send me a video and say, look, I've been practicing and I got it. Okay, so these are the things you need to practice to do over and over and over. You can't see my face. I know, I'm trying to read my notes, which puts me too close to the computer. Over and over and over and over to make this form perfect. So a lot of you guys have already done the beginning of this form, but that's okay. We're going to go back. We're going to start the beginning again. We're going to go really slow, and we're going to think about these techniques that we've just been practiced. So we start here. And to start, my right foot steps out to the corner, so I'm in Soko Rip Chassi, block, rotating my back heel punch. Back foot steps in. I punch, and I'm going to keep that hand out as an index. Side kick, lock it out. Land in Soko Rip, come transition through that Soko Rip on the back heel, uppercut. Step forward, push, punch. Okay, so I'm still in the video, that's good. The left foot, the one that's in the back, I'm stepping away from my target here, which is different from what we do in most of our basic forms. I'm going to step away, through Soko Rip Chassi and block, rotate and punch. Back leg comes in, punch. That also keeps the person at distance. This is called an index. It's not the same as what we're doing with the index on our foot, but it's an index in that it keeps the person who's attacking us at distance so we can throw that kick. Land here, I'm in Chingle Chassi. Actually, when I land, I come through Soko Rip and all the way to Chingle Chassi again on the uppercut, push, punch. Okay, I'm going to come a little bit closer so that I don't run out of the room when I do the next phrase. I'm not going to index here. This foot's just going to step back. Low block, punch. And then I'm going to shuffle forward. Punch, punch. Okay, I'm going to front kick. I'm going to land in Soko Rip Chassi and block. Rotate on the heel of the back foot, punch. Hands up, back leg front kick. I land in Soko Rip Chassi, high block. Rotate on the back heel, punch. Back foot, I'm going to scoot back a little so I don't kick my camera. I'm going to turn the standing foot. If you're a little dragon, you would say turn the foot, side kick. So turn the foot, side kick, punch, punch. Then I'm going to shuffle forward, elbow to the face, chop, punch. Okay, next part, and the feet are really important on this. This is something, the break that we do in this form is very similar to the break that we do in both Pyongan Sadan and to one that we do in Chilsung 4. But the next stance after the break is way different, so really got to focus on it. So we're here, somebody is standing there and they're choking me, and I'm going to turn towards them. I hope you can see my foot. I'm dragging this foot through a cast stance. I'm bringing my hands here because they're choking me and my hands have to come up between theirs. And as I break the choke, I'm going to set into a rear leaning stance. It's a small rear leaning stance, but it's not weight even. I get 60% of the weight on my right leg and only only 40 on the front. So here I broke the choke. I palm strike them in the face, elbow, grab their head, pull it in. The knee that came up, the opposite hand pushes, and then you punch. And then I'm going to go the other way. So somebody's standing there and they're choking me this way. And it comes transition through the cat stance. Break, set into the rear leaning stance. Palm strike, elbow, grab their head. Pull it through your knee, push, punch. Now, I'm going to come back towards the front of the room. So my right hand makes a big circle. Like somebody's grabbing my shoulder. I'm going to bring my hand all the way over there. Trap their hand underneath, come up and block. Or actually it's a yuck sudo. So I've broken their fingers here and I'm striking the side of the neck. I'm going to front kick, punch. Just like we did at the beginning of form now. Back leg's going to slide up, index, side kick. Land in Soko Chassi, turn to the back of the room, double high block. Step forward, push punch. Okay, so I'm going to go through that again one more time at speed. And I want you to follow along with me. Sometimes I find it helpful to practice my form if the person who's videotaping it is facing the other way, so I can stand behind them and follow along. I've been practicing it as a house going this way. I think if I try to do it now going the other way, I'm going to mess it up. But I will practice it that way, so when I put the next section up, I'll be able to give you video behind me too, so you can follow along, if that makes more sense. But here's the form. It's from Chun Cook Do. I'm sure it has a name. We don't have a name for it. We just call it the Chuck Norris form. But you remember from the beginning of the form, that's Chuck Norris's style. So we start here. So like with the video that I did yesterday, if you have questions about that, you can either DM me or you can post them underneath this video on the Facebook page. I don't know if you can post them right on YouTube. You can try. Maybe I'll get it, maybe not. I will do more of this form probably next week. I will try to have this section set so that you can do it from behind me. Like I said, if you have questions, focus it. And remember, if you're not a black belt, you cannot practice this form. Don't forget that. Talk to you guys later.